Above, the cathedral bells rang for the holy nights, but in the crypt below, Kale scrubbed the tombs of the forgotten.
They branded me unworthy. No blade of light answered my call.
His hand brushed an ancient inscription, and his tongue blackened like spilled ink, flooding his mouth with the taste of rot.
Ruin.
The stone gargoyle wept streams of rust, then crumbled into ash.
Number. This is impossible. It obeyed my voice.
He clamped his hands over his mouth, but black veins already spread across his lips. He tasted rot and prophecy, a voice that would unravel the Holy Empire, a tongue that spoke the undoing of all sacred things.
This is not a blessing. It is a curse.
In the dark, the failed acolyte hid, his tongue forever blackened, tasting rot and prophecy. The Empire's great lie had begun to rot from the inside out. Old Aldrich's lantern cut through the dark. He had heard the stone crumble, and now he saw the ash.
Child, what have you done? Let me see your mouth.
I don't know. It just happened. My tongue, it turned black.
The plague, God's tongue. By the covenant, it still exists.
The old scribe's voice shook not with fear for himself, but for the boy.
The church will kill you if they see this. You must hide, now and forever.
Before Kale could answer, a heavy tread echoed above. Metal boots, many of them, and a voice like cold iron. The High Inquisitor Valerius had arrived in the chapel above, flanked by Knight Commander Aveline and a young knight named Lyra.
Say nothing. Stay in the shadows. I will distract them.
There is a stench of corruption in this holy place. Begin the search.
High Inquisitor Valerius raised the decayed scripture high, its pages blackening with rot. The congregation held its breath.
This sacred text was discovered in the crypts. The plague, God's heresy, has returned to challenge the Radiant Order.
How could such filth invade our hallowed halls? We must purify every stone, no matter the cost.
That scripture. It was whole this morning. Did my presence alone defile it?
Kale's tongue seared. An involuntary whisper escaped his lips, a wordless exhalation of rot. On the altar, the scripture blackened further, its pages curling into ash as the congregation gasped.
The heretic is within these walls. Seal every exit. Search every shadow. No one leaves until the blasphemer is found.
Kale stumbled back into the crypt shadows, his heart pounding as knights rushed past with drawn blades.
They'll find me. They'll burn me. Deeper, hide deeper. I can't let them see my tongue.
Tear this cathedral apart. Whoever defiled our sanctum will face the flame. I will personally light the pyre.
Aldrich found Kale in the deepest crypt, pulling him into a forgotten alcove as bootsteps thundered above.
Take this key. It opens the forbidden archive. The truth about your tongue is buried there. Find it before they find you.
The truth. I might learn why this curse chose me. I have to go.
Kale crept through ancient corridors to a massive stone door, the key cold in his palm. The lock turned with a groan inside. The air was thick with dust and the scent of old paper. Shelves of forbidden tomes stretched into darkness.
So much knowledge, and the church kept it hidden. What are they afraid of?
He opened a manuscript, its pages brittle. An illustration showed a giant, decaying mouth with a black tongue, the plague god.
It speaks of a covenant, a lie to seal away the truth. Was the empire founded on deceit?
The text described the plague god as the original voice of truth, a power that cleansed corruption, not spread it. The Radiant Order had twisted history. Before he could read more, shouts echoed from the corridor. The nights were closing in. Kale's time was running out. The pages revealed the plague god as the divine tongue that once cleansed the empire of deceit, until the Order sealed it away.
I am not a curse. I am the truth they buried.
An ancient illustration depicted the tongue of unmaking, prophesied to rot the false covenant and restore the pure voice.
They fear this tongue because it speaks what they hide, and I wield it.
Outside the archive, torches flared. Knights were at the door, wood splintering under their gauntlets.
I can't let them find me or these books. What do I do?
He tucked a brittle scroll into his sleeve and crept deeper into the dusty dark, heart hammering. The door burst open, and knights flooded in, but Kale had vanished among the towering shelves.
They'll burn Aldrich if I don't expose this lie. I have to reach him.
Hidden in the catacombs, Kale clutched the truth to his chest. The Empire's rot would spread from his very words, but first he had to survive this night. In the catacombs, Kale hid behind a pillar as a night passed, his tongue twitching with unspoken words. A single whispered breath escaped him. The knight's silver armor blackened and began to rust. Flakes drifting down like ash, the knight screamed. My armor. Something is eating it. His gauntlet crumbled to dust.
Hold still, your armor. It's flaking away. This is no natural decay.
Minutes later, the knight scrambled up to the chapel, still shaking, his chestplate a ruin of rust.
Rust on consecrated steel. Someone desecrated your armor with dark speech. Who was near you?
Perhaps it is a test from the Radiant One to reveal hidden corruption among us. We should pray, not panic.
Pray? No, old man. There is a heretic slithering in our crypts. Double the guard. Tear every tomb apart.
Kale pressed deeper into the catacombs, his heart a drum of guilt. The scroll crinkled in his sleeve. In the chapel above, Aldrich stood alone, the Inquisitor's cold gaze lingering on him. The old scribe had drawn too much attention. By morning, the Inquisitor's patience shattered. Knights seized Aldrich, dragging him through the chapel for questioning.
They won't just ask him. They'll break him. I have to do something.
But as Aldrich passed, he caught Kale's eye and gave a tiny, firm shake of his head. Stay hidden. Kale obeyed, retreating into the catacombs. Alone, he stared at a stone pillar and whispered.
The armor rusted when I didn't even speak a word. But can I aim it? Can I choose what rots?
He fixed his gaze on a single torch bracket. In his mind, he named it, felt the rot gather, then loosed a breath. The iron bracket rusted and snapped, clattering to the floor. The stone around it remained untouched.
It's not random. It listens to my intent. I can name what must decay.
He practiced for hours, rusting iron, crumbling bone, even wilting lichen on the walls. The tongue could be a scalpel, not just a hammer, but when he stopped, the distant clang of a cell door reminded him Aldrich was still in the Inquisitor's grip, and time was rotting away. Kale peered through a grate into the interrogation chamber. Aldrich was bound to a chair, the High Inquisitor circling like a vulture.
Decades of service, old scribe, yet the rot spreads. Who have you been aiding?
I tend tombs. I know nothing. If corruption thrives, it is not from my hand.
The plague god's tongue is not a myth. I know it has awakened. Tell me where the vessel is.
He knows. He knew all along. The Inquisitor isn't hunting a rumor. He's protecting the lie.
The Inquisitor ordered Aldrich confined to a tower cell under constant guard. No trial, no pyre, yet.
You will remain here until the heretic comes to save you. And when he does, both of you will burn.
He's using Aldrich as bait. If I act, I confirm my guilt. If I don't, Aldrich rots in that cell.
Kale slipped away from the vent, his mind racing. The Inquisitor controlled the board, and every move seemed to lead to fire. In his tower chamber, the Inquisitor traced a map of the catacombs, smiling coldly. The hunt had just begun. Kale slipped out of the catacombs under a moonless sky, seeking the one knight who might still listen. He found Lyra on the southern parapet. Her aura blade a faint blue shimmer in the dark.
Who goes there?
It's me, Lyra. Don't raise the alarm. I only need to talk.
Kale, you should be inside. The Inquisitor's orders. You could be branded. What are you really doing here?
Do you believe the order is infallible, Lyra? In everything, every scripture, every judgment?
The order is the shield of the Empire. To doubt is the first step toward heresy. Why would you ask such a thing?
She's already chosen. One wrong word, and she'll turn that blade on me. I am alone in this.
For a heartbeat, Kale almost confessed everything. Instead, he forced a hollow smile and stepped back into the shadows.
Kale, wait. Something's wrong with you. Kale,
Kale slipped back into the catacombs, Lyra's words echoing. Above, a commotion rose, shouts, running boots. In the forbidden archive, High Inquisitor Valerius stood before a shelf of missing tomes. His jaw tightened.
The records of the Old Covenant, stolen. The heretic has been here. Sound the lockdown. Seal every gate. No soul leaves this cathedral until I have the thief.
Bells tolled. Iron gates slammed shut. Knights flooded every corridor, their aura blades drawn. Kale pressed himself into a dark corner, hearing the orders echo. He was trapped. 2 guards passed, voices low. The old scribe is to be moved to the high prison at dawn. Inquisitor's orders.
Dawn, I have only hours. If they take him, I'll never see Aldrich again.
He clenched the scroll in his sleeve, his blackened tongue tasting the air. There was no more time for hiding. With grim resolve, Kale began creeping toward the tower cell. Tonight, he would free Aldrich or die trying. Kale reached the tower cell, where Aldrich hung in chains. Weakened by days of darkness, a whispered word rusted the lock. Kale slid inside and fell to his knees beside the old scribe.
You should not have come, boy, but I knew you would. Listen, there is no time.
The old man pressed a cold, stone-like fragment into Kale's palm, a shard of the original covenant.
This is the key. The plague god's tongue can speak through this shard and break the false covenant.
Kale's tongue burned, resonating with the relic. It knew its purpose.
Go now. Do not let them take you too. The truth must rot this empire from the inside out.
The cell door burst open. Knights flooded in, seizing Aldrich. Kale vanished into the shadows.
You are too late, scribe. The pyre awaits. And your heretic will join you soon enough.
Kale, hidden in the dark, clutched the shard. The old scribe's last cry echoed, "Let the truth rot them all." At dawn, the cathedral square filled with a silent, fearful crowd. High Inquisitor Valerius ascended the platform.
For harboring the plague, God's heresy, the scribe Aldrich shall burn at the stake. Let this be a warning to all.
He's going to burn him, right in front of me. I have to do something.
The people murmured, some in fear, some in grim satisfaction. Kale's hand closed around the shard in his sleeve. As the crowd dispersed, Kale fled to the catacombs. He could not save Aldrich yet, but he could prepare. He held the shard and whispered, ancient words tasting of rot. The relic pulsed, and his ros, not the feelies, echoed through the stone.
Yes, speak, vessel. Let my voice become your own, and together we shall unmake their lies.
It's trying to consume me, but I need its power. I'll use it, not the other way around.
For hours he practiced, sending whispers through walls, rusting distant chains, until his voice could reach the very ceiling of the crypt. Exhausted, but unbroken, Kale sank to his knees. The pyre would be lit tomorrow. He had one night left to master the tongue. That night, Kale sought Lyra one final time, finding her alone in the chapel garden. The shard pulsed against his chest.
Lyra, I have to show you something. Please, just look.
He extended his palm, where Aldrich's holy symbol lay blackened and rusted from a single whisper.
that symbol, it's sacred. What have you done? How could you defile it?
I didn't defile it. I revealed the lie. The Order's blessings are built on rot. Can't you see?
Lyra's hand flew to her sword, her eyes searching Kale's face for the friend she once knew.
You are the heretic, all along. You, guards. The blasphemer is here.
Kale's heart shattered, but he didn't wait. He whispered a word, rusting a nearby gate as a distraction, and fled into the shadows.
So, this is what it feels like to lose everything. No one left. Only the truth remains.
From that moment, Kale walked alone. There would be no allies when the pyre was lit. The sun rose blood-red over the cathedral square. Kale entered the crowd, a hood pulled low, the shard a cold weight against his chest. Aldrich stood bound to the pyre, his white robes ragged, his face turned skyward. He did not struggle.
Good people of the Radiant Order, today we purify the body to save the soul. This heretic concealed the plague god's corruption, but do not fear, for the fire shall cleanse all. The heretic's tongue will never speak its lies again.
He's speaking of me. The fire meant for Aldrich is meant for me. I can't let him burn.
The executioner lifted the torch. The flame cast leaping shadows across the square. The crowd held its breath.
Now, I have to act now. For Aldrich. For the truth.
His tongue blackened fully, veins of rot spreading across his jaw. The shard pulsed in his grip.
Light the pyre. Let this heresy end in ash.
Kale opened his mouth, and the first syllable of ruin formed on his lips. The air itself began to rot.
Let all false covenants rot. By the plague god's tongue, I unmake this empire's lie.
The holy wards lining the cathedral walls shattered with a sound like breaking glass, light exploding outward. Inside the cathedral, the great altar cracked down the center, dark ooze seeping from the fissure. Screams erupted. Knights drew their blades, but their aura light flickered and dimmed.
Who dares speak that filth? Show yourself, heretic.
I am Kale, the vessel of the truth you buried. Your empire is built on rot.
The failed acolyte. So the plague god chose a worm. Seize him, burn him alongside the scribe.
Lyra, standing guard, stared at Kale with a mix of horror and recognition. The friend she had condemned. The shard in Kale's hand pulsed with dark light, and the air grew thick with the scent of decay. The crowd parted around him, as if he carried a plague, leaving Kale alone before the Inquisitor and the splintering altar.
Knights of the Radiant Order, strike down this heretic, now, before his poison spreads further.
The knights surged forward, their aura blades blazing with righteous fury, a living wall of holy light. Kale whispered a single, rotting syllable into the shard. The knight's blades flickered, then blackened and flaked away like rust. Across the square, Lyra's own sword dimmed. She stared at the dying light, her faith crumbling with the metal. The pyre's timbers shattered with a groan, spilling Aldrich onto the cobblestones. He crawled free, his robes torn and bloody.
Kale, speak the truth. Let them hear the covenant's rot.
High Inquisitor Valerius raised his staff high, a sphere of blinding holy light coalescing at its peak, crackling with divine wrath.
If blades fail, then burn. Let the radiance fire consume this abomination and all who harbor his filth.
A beam of pure, searing light blasted from the staff, aimed directly at Kale's heart. Judgment made manifest. Kale raised the shard. Dark energy swirling to meet the holy beam. The air shrieked as the forces met, and the outcome hung in the balance. The holy beam lanced forward, and Aldrich, with the last of his strength, threw himself in front of Kale.
Not him. You will not.
The blast faded. Aldrich crumpled into Kale's arms, his robes smoking, blood seeping through his fingers.
The truth speaks louder than fire. Let it rot. Let it all rot.
Aldrich's hand fell limp. The light in his eyes went out. The old scribe was gone.
Aldrich, no, no.
Grief became rage. The plague god's tongue erupted from Kale's throat, a wave of pure decay that rippled outward. Stone cracked. Iron rusted. The very air turned to ashes. The Inquisitor's staff began to flake. The plague god's voice, ancient and hungry, layered over Kale's own. Now, vessel unmake their lie. Kale, consumed by sorrow and wrath, let the full power of the tongue surge through him. The cathedral stones groaned in answer.
By the plague god's ancient covenant, I unmake your false order. Let all holy bindings rot.
The cathedral wards burst like glass, showering the square with dying light. Every sacred enchantment shattered at once. Silver armor blackened and crumbled from the knights' bodies, exposing them in their undergarments and fear. The altar of the cathedral split wide, and a foul, pulsating mass of rot oozed from the hollow, the Empire's holy core, corrupted.
Impossible. The Radiant's heart. It cannot be decayed. This is a trick of the Plague God.
Kale's voice rose, shaking the dome. The Inquisitor's vestments disintegrated into rags, his staff warping to rust. Holy relics blackened. Prayer beads turned to dust. The Empire's lie lay bare, rotting in the sunlight. The ooze from the altar spread across the floor, hissing. A putrid smell filled the air, the stench of centuries of deceit.
You will burn for this, heretic. The Empire will not fall so easily.
The crowd stood frozen, staring at the naked truth. Their faith had been built on rot, and now they could see it.
People of the Empire, listen. Your Radiant Order was built on a lie. The first covenant was broken to seal the Plague God, the true voice of purity. The Plague God cleansed corruption. It was your forefathers who chose deceit to build their power, and they branded the truth as heresy.
Murmurs spread through the crowd. Confusion, dawning horror. Some crossed themselves. Others stared at the corrupting altar with wide eyes.
He speaks blasphemy. Do not listen. The Plague God is a deceiver.
But his voice was a rasp, drowned by the groaning stone. The people saw the holy rot with their own eyes, and his words held no power. A woman wept. A man tore off his holy charm and cast it down. The lie was rotting away around them.
I do not ask for your worship. I only ask you to see. The Empire's great lie is rotting from the inside out, and it will not stop until the truth is free.
The cathedral groaned, its final wards flickering out. The Empire's divine mandate crumbled before the silent multitude.
The truth will rot what is false. That is the Plague God's gift, and it is now yours to bear.
High Inquisitor Valerius, stripped of his authority and armor, could only kneel in the ashes of his faith, watching the Empire's lie rot before him. Commander Aveline, her armor hanging in rust, drew a jagged blade and rallied the few knights still standing.
Knights, to me, strike down the heretic before his poison consumes what remains of our holy order.
But before anyone moved, Lyra stepped forward. She yanked off her helmet and flung it to the stones with a clang that silenced the square.
Stop. He speaks the truth. I have seen the rot myself. The order is the lie. We have served a false covenant.
The knights faltered. Their rusted blades trembled as they looked from their commander to Lyra and to the oozing altar beyond.
Lyra, you have damned yourself. Stand down or share his fate.
A deafening crack split the air. The cathedral dome shattered, raining stone blocks and shattered glass. Knights and commoners scattered. When the dust settled, the great cathedral was a shell. The holy light was gone, replaced by stark daylight.
I have lost my order, but I will not lose the truth. I stand with Kale.
The knights dropped their weapons, one by one. The battle was over, but the Empire's foundation had crumbled beyond repair. Kale stepped over the ruins of the altar and walked toward the kneeling Inquisitor. His blackened tongue, glistening in the dusty light, was fully visible.
I will not give you the mercy of a swift death, Valerius. You will live to witness your holy empire rot from the inside out.
You have damned us all.
A shaft of sunlight poured through the shattered dome, casting a stark glow on Kale. His blackened tongue seemed to absorb the light.
Aldrich believed the truth would set us free. Now I carry his truth and the weight of his death.
He turned his back on the Inquisitor, stepping over fragments of holy relics and crumbling stone.
Kale, where will you go now?
Wherever the lie still festers. The Plague God's tongue will always speak what must rot.
He walked through the silent crowd, his steps unwavering. None dared to stop him. His black tongue was a mark of both curse and truth. Behind him, the cathedral ruins stood as a monument to a broken lie. The Empire's decay had only begun, and Kale carried its seed. Kale walked away from the ruins, the silent crowd parting before him like the Red Sea, too stunned to speak.
Aldrich's death won't be in vain. The truth is a slow rot, and I let it fester.
Lyra rushed after him, her rusted sword still in hand but lowered. She caught up just as he reached the edge of the square.
Kale, wait. What do I do now? I've lost my order, my purpose, everything.
You choose your path, Lyra. The truth will rot this empire from within, but you don't have to be a witness.
He continued walking without looking back. Behind him, holy symbols carved on archways began to rust, flakes drifting down like autumn leaves. A statue of a radiant saint wept rust. A prayer post crumbled to dust. The empire's decay was spreading in his wake.
He's carrying a curse and a truth. Both will spread. I can't stop it. Maybe no one can.
Kale paused at the edge of the ruined city, a lone figure against the fractured skyline. His tongue, black as ink, glinted one last time. His eyes, weary but resolute, held the fading light. Then he turned and disappeared into the shadow of the fallen empire.